19-year-old Silas became the youngest champion on the track. Facing a wall of flashing lenses, the notoriously arrogant boy suddenly flushed. The tips of his ears burned red. "Someone promised to meet me after graduation," he murmured into the microphones. He didn't know that when we made that pact, I was lying in the ICU. I was hooked up to countless tubes. Monitors beeped my fading heartbeat. He definitely didn't know I wasn't some mysterious girl from 1,000 miles away. For 3 years of high school, I sat in the darkest, dustiest corner of the back row. He had spoken to me exactly 307 times. Every single time it was just, "Excuse me." Now my lungs have stopped working. I'm dead. And he is tearing the world apart looking for me. This defective hollow muscle in my chest finally gave out. It dragged me right to the very end. My parents froze, just for a fraction of a second. Then, they went right back to planning my funeral like nothing had happened. A sneeze from my older brother, Bryce, would have garnered more concern. A congenital heart defect. It was a jagged rock rotting in our family dynamic, destroying whatever tiny bit of affection they had left for me. Not that they ever wanted me to begin with. Before me, the house was already full. Tara, Kendall, Bryce, 2 older sisters, and the golden boy. When my mother accidentally got pregnant again, they paid for a back alley ultrasound. The technician said it was a boy. That was the only reason I wasn't scraped out. I came out breathing, but I was the wrong gender. And worse, I was sick. A massive, expensive liability. When filling out my birth certificate, Harvey scratched out the strong, triumphant boy's name he had meticulously picked. He scribbled down Una, just an afterthought. To them, I wasn't a daughter. I was a surplus. A burden. We never should have had her. Those words echoed through the house for 18 years. They never even bothered to lower their voices when I walked into the room. But it's fine now. I'm finally dead. The moment the monitor flatlined and the doctor called the time of death, you could practically hear Harvey and Barbara exhale. An 18-year-old mistake, finally erased. I slipped away on a bright, sun-drenched Tuesday morning. No noise, no fuss. But maybe my obsession tethered me to the living world. My consciousness didn't dissolve. I became a phantom. I drifted past my parents as they eagerly signed the death certificate. I floated over gridlocked highways and sprawling mountains until I landed in the deafening roar of the racetrack. Here, I witnessed Silas in his absolute prime. At first, I instinctively looked away. I waited for the crushing pain in my chest. I was terrified the adrenaline would send me into cardiac arrest. A second later, the reality hit me. I was a ghost. My broken heart didn't have to bear the shock because it wasn't beating at all. I snapped my head back toward the asphalt just as a yellow streak of carbon fiber tore across the finish line. I knew that chassis. Silas. He took the championship. The stadium erupted. The screaming was absolutely deafening. A tidal wave of reporters and cameramen swarmed the track, barricading his car. Everyone was vibrating, desperate to witness the birth of the youngest world champion. In the center of the chaos, Silas was ice cold. He climbed out of the cockpit, yanking off his helmet with one hand. His other hand ran through his damp hair, pushing it back. The media crushed closer. Silas's jaw ticked. A muscle jumped in his cheek. He shoved a cluster of microphones out of his face with a hard scowl. He reached out over the sea of heads toward Otis, his assistant, who was fighting for his life in the mosh pit. Phone. Silas tossed the heavy helmet at Otis's chest. Using his height advantage, he completely ignored the flashing strobes and started typing. He stared at the screen. A slow, impossibly soft smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. A damp strand of dark hair fell over his forehead, softening the sharp, striking lines of his face. The sunlight caught the sweat on his skin, bathing him in a golden halo. It was the gentlest I had ever seen him. Amidst the nervous whispers of the crowd, I drifted right behind Silas. The perks of being a ghost. And there it was, my profile picture, pinned to the top of his messages under my username, Una. I won. Honestly, kind of mid. Barely broke a sweat.